Rita nagrarayo ang bagyo.
Diyos ko dahil manilo po.
Nagrarayo.
Nagrarayo naman kayo nga. Ikaw nagrarayo.
Yan ang Naga.
Matagal eh, sa lang.
Ha?
Mataas na.
Kung magkatarik ka, rarayan.
Ay, grabe mo dito.
Rarayan o libuton ng hamang yun? Tabangin mo ng tsokolate. Pero si Kuya, matabang ng tsokolate. Hindi mo na mag-fix. Hindi ka mo pala ngayon.
Good morning. Can you take your seat for the roll call?
Honorable Cecilia Pebelus de Asis, City Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer present. Roll call on the City Councilors. Honorable Gilgio Rosales present. Honorable Lucilito S. A. del Rosario present. Honorable Gregorio R. Abunal. She's already around, Madam Chair. Honorable Mila Estrakid Arroyo present. Honorable Elmer S. Baldemoro present. Honorable Vidal P. Castillo present. Honorable Salvador M. del Castillo present. Honorable Jose Siragnola present. Honorable Jose B. Perez present. Honorable Jesse R. Albius present. Honorable Antonio B. Beltran present. Honorable Mary Kylie Francine B. Tripolca present. Madam Chair, there is a quorum.
42nd regular session of the 13th Paguniang Convention is now called to order.
Prayer.
Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mahal na Panginoon, sa pagtatalakayan namin sa kapulungang ito, bigyan niyo kami ng talino upang mapaglabanan ang simboyo ng aming damdamin. Bigyan niyo kami ng mapag-unawang puso na walang kinikilingan. Bigyan niyo kami ng malawak na pananaw upang mabatid ang anumang nakabalangkas para sa hinaharap. Bigyan niyo kami ng tatag at lakas ng loob sa pagtuklas ng katotohanan at kabutihan. Bigyan niyo kami ng kakayahan sa pananalita na maaari kaming maunawaan. At higit sa lahat, Panginoon, gawin niyo kaming karapat-dapat na lingkod bayan, na lungsod na labis naming minamahal at iginagalang, ang lungsod ng Naga, ang puso ng Bicol. Siya nawa. Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Espiritu Santo.
Pambansang awit.
Bayang magiliw, handa awit.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa lilim mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, luyang ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi. Di ka pasisiil sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong buga. Ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagnilingning. Ang bituin at araw niyang kailan, may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. aming ligaya ng may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay lang. Tigka pa,
Again, good morning. We'd like to acknowledge the presence of the dead,
Doktor,
headed by Dr. and the other supervisors, DepEd personalities. Good morning po and welcome to our session. Next item.
privilege time.
Anybody who would like to avail of the privilege time? None? Next item.
Reading and approval of the order of business.
Honorable Baldemoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, may I move to dispense the reading of the order of business with the following inclusion. Item number 2 of the unfinished business is the letter from the City Mayor requesting for an authority to enter into an amended deed of absolute sale with Jose Raimundo married to Marcelina San Benaventura. Also, Madam Chair, under other matters, item number 1 is the Sangguniang Barangay Resolution o Barangay San Isidro, realigning the aggregate amount of 115,000 pesos from the traveling expense under MOOE into other MOOE in the barangay annual budget. Another, Madam Chair, item number 2 of the other matters is the letter from the Commission on Election informing the suspension of the issuance of voters certification and also the voters registration until June 30, 2020. I so move for its approval, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, approved. Next item.
Order of business, unfinished business, letter dated May 5, 2020, inviting into this regular session Dr. Mariano B. de Guzman, CESO 6, Schools Division Superintendent, Department of Education, together with the DepEd Naga supervisors, to brief the Sanggunian on the national initiative as well as division's initiative that may answer the queries relative to education.
Okay, moved. The rules are suspended. May we invite Superintendent Mariano de Guzman for the Honorable Abunal briefing as to why we invited
Madam Chair, you will recall that last week in the session, a resolution was filed requesting the Naga City School Board to take initiative in bridging the students from Educare all through senior high, bridging them into the incoming school year. By the time it was made, Madam Chair, we were not definite about the opening of the school year, although we had an idea it was going to be in August. And so the resolution asks for the Naga City School Board to invite concerned officials and especially DepEd personnel to prepare strategies and modalities for preparing the students who have been away from school since in fact February into the next school year. In so doing, Madam Chair, we ask whether if it were possible for DepEd Naga to brief the Sangguniang Panlungsod as to the DepEd national level preparation for the next year, as well as Naga City Division preparation for the next school year, particularly concerned about the idle months. We say idle from direct studies of the students all throughout the division of Naga City. And so we ask if we could invite the division superintendent, Madam Chair, as well as the officials of DepEd to brief us on these matters. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Abunal. The District Supervisor, Superintendent, Division Superintendent, Dr. Manny de Guzman,
Hello.
as to the briefing requested by the Sangguniang Panglunsod during last session. Good morning po, and thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much. First of all, may I be allowed to express my greetings and good morning to everyone.
Good morning po. Good morning, sir.
To our Honorable Vice Mayor Cecilia De Asis, and to all members, honorable members of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, and to the rest of the people around. Please allow me to introduce people from the Department of Education who are with me this morning. May I present to you our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Mr. Sueño Losada, our chiefs of the two main divisions, Chief of the Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Maria Sheila Laguda, and the Chief of the School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Renato Gabino, and the rest of the supervisors. We have Mr. Rostico Asanya, Mr. Jeremy Tomotorgo, Dr. Gina Bubis, Dr. Eduardo Laureles, Mr. Benedict Warren Abante, and Mr. Cesar Ariola. Na-mention ko na lahat. So they are with me today based on the invitation, inviting me and the supervisors to give updates on our plan and as to what is happening in DepEd Naga, and partly the plan of the central office when it comes to the learning of our most important clients, the learners. So we are here now. The details of the sharing of information will be presented by the Chief of the Curriculum and Implementation Division, Ma'am Sheila Laguda. But before she will be presenting, may I be allowed to give basic, significant updates about what is happening in the Department of Education, most specifically in DepEd Naga City. Considering the situation now in the Philippines, and not only in the Philippines, but in the world as a whole, that the movement of people are already restricted, and we are now transitioning into the what we call new normal. And under this new normal situation, there are expected changes in the way we do things, specifically in the Department of Education. Under the new normal, first thing that was given focus by the Department of Education is on how learning could be continued. Considering the limitations on the movement, the requirement as to the social distancing, which is the primary hindrance in the continuity of the usual and regular classroom situation, the Department of Education tried to think of possibilities and strategies on how learning could continue in the Department of Education. So because of that, the department has initiated for the formulation of the Learning Continuity Plan, or the LCP, or BELCP, Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Although the complete set of guidelines and parameters as to how we shall go about has not yet been released to us, but there were already advance information given to the public by our secretary through through press conferences and other appearances in through media. And here are some of the basic information that we are expecting to happen in the Department of Education. So in the Learning Continuity Plan of the Department of Education, the main consideration is the health and safety of our learners. So that by the time that we start or we resume our classes, the assumption is that there will be no danger or risk on the part of our learners whenever we resume our classes. We do not know yet as to what will happen at the start of classes, but that is the first parameter as to how we shall go about with the continuation of learning of our learners. The opening of classes has been decided to be on August 24, 2020. That has been the proposal of the Department of Education, and this has been approved already, recommended for approval by the IATF, and it has to end on April 30, 2021, with a total of 203 days. However, private schools may opt to open earlier, or they can open in June, subject to the approval of the regional office, and also subject to the condition that these private schools have the capacity to undertake online learning. The opening of classes on August 24 will be subject to big preparations on the Department of Education. Preparation considering that, as I have mentioned a while ago, the usual face-to-face learning modality that we are doing in the classrooms may not happen anymore. Or should it happen, it will have to have a lesser number of learners with a maximum of 20 learners per classroom na lang. And the rest will be opting to go on virtual learning or modular, or it could be blended learning. When we say blended learning, it is a combination of all these flexible learning modalities. It is very important that basic to the implementation of these different learning options is the profiling, mapping, or inventory of our teachers and learners. For the information of the people around, we have already conducted the mapping and profiling of our teachers. Kaya lang hindi pa kompleto. And then, as of now, the instruments are already in the field, also gathering data and information about the status and conditions of our learners. We want to know about them. Say for instance, the information that we will gather will include, but not limited to the following. First is their competence or skills in the use of gadgets along IT or ICT. Then the presence of gadget, if there is a gadget. The place, if the place where they are living or staying is conducive to the virtual learning options, and also the connectivity. Kasi kahit may gadget ka, wala kang connection, hindi pa rin pwede mangyayari ang communication. So, our plan is, kasi it has been announced already, that teachers will have to go back from their summer vacation by June 1, and then on June 1, we are expected to start with our enrollment. But during this enrollment, in the enrollment period, there will be a validation already about the information we gathered from the learners. Validation. And then, after gathering all this data about our learners and also our teachers, we will do matching. Kaya kung may mga teachers na magaling pwede sa virtual, may mga estudyante rin na pwede sa virtual, so sila yung paparis natin. So we will be organizing this kind of class or classes that will undergo the virtual learning. Yun namang hindi pwede doon kasi walang gadget, pwede sila mag-option sa modular. Modular na, kumbaga, sa modular, there are hard copies of materials na pwedeng basahin at mayroong mga questions na pwedeng sagutin, dadalhin sa bahay, and then pupunta sa school, siguro mga once a week na lang or twice a week. Then that would limit presence of these learners in the classroom. Pero yun naman talagang mga estudyante na talagang hindi pwede sa modular, sa virtual, pwede sila doon sa babalik tayo doon sa mayroon pa ring face-to-face. So that is the assumption. Kasi we cannot do away completely with the usual method of face-to-face, considering the readiness of both the teachers and learners. Kasama rin sa kinukuha namin ng impormasyon ay yung mga parents. Kumusta yung kalagayan nila, yung status nila, kaya ba nilang magturo? Kasi time will come that the role of the teachers will be bigger in times that our learners will not be around in their respective schools. So, bale, ngayon, we already have an ongoing mapping, inventory of our teachers and learners. Also, the Department of Education has initiated to compress our learning competencies. Ang DepEd kasi, bawat subject area, bawat grade level, mayroon silang mga nakalistang mga competencies o mga kakayahan o mga bagay na dapat malaman, matutunan ng bata. Tinatawag natin yan na learning competencies. Nakalista yan. Yan ang mga dapat na matutuhan ng bata. Kasi pag nagturo na yung teacher, iba-iba yung strategies, but we are targeting one and common aspect of learning. So, depende na lang sa pagkakaiba-iba. So ngayon, ang ginawa ng DepEd is, out of all these learning competencies, pumili na lang ng tinatawag na most essential learning competencies. Kasi kahit noon pa man, many, even people in the field, mga teachers, nagrereklamo na kasi mas marami nang nakalistang learning competencies. So ngayon, magkakaroon ng tinatawag na most essential learning competencies. Kasi we are expecting that we may not be able to finish all those competencies. Kaya kailangan mag-focus lang tayo doon sa most essential learning competencies. But we are not precluded from expanding and cross-referencing our subject to all other learning areas. Pwede pa rin. And we are allowed to produce supplementary reading or supplementary resources for our subject and for our learners. Under the new normal, the kind or the flexible learning options that will be applied to each school is given to the school's division office to decide. So it is the school's division that will decide what learning modality will be implemented in a particular school, subject to monitoring by the regional office of the Department of Education. In addition pala, yung CP, nandun pa rin yun. Yung text, yung call, kasama pa rin yun doon sa platform na pwedeng gamitin ng mga bata. And also, the DepEd has also opened this platform that is now being used and which can still be used further and in the future by our learners, by our teachers, which is now popularly called as the DepEd Commons. And other learning means will be put up also by the Department of Education. And we are also open to utilization of television and radio for learning purposes of our learners. As of now, our supervisors are already in the stage of preparing or they are identifying what are the available learning resources at hand. And also, they are already conducting workshops on the preparation of other learning materials that will be adjusted already to the situation of the new normal. And also, they are preparing modules and preparing developing and preparing self-directed supplementary learning resources. So, naka-emphasize po ang self-directed. Kasi nga, baka limitado na yung presence ng mga bata sa school. It was mentioned by the secretary that Brigada Eskwela will still happen before the start of the school year in August. And nandiyan pa rin yung okay sa DepEd. Yan. Uplan kalusugan ang ibig sabihin ng okay. Uplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Then, Uplan balik eskwela mangyayari din bago magsimula ang klase sa August 24. And it has been expressly declared by our secretary that the following events that require convergence of our teachers and learners will be canceled while the pandemic is still there. First is the National Schools Press Conference or itong journalism, school sports, trade fairs, NFOT, National National Festival of Talents, ayan. And then National Science Fair. Ayan. So ito yung mga bagay na canceled na ngayon. So yung lalo na yung sports. So another thing that we are expecting to have changes will be our budget allocation. There could probably be or definitely magkakaroon talaga ng realignment of our budget, including those budget that we have prepared already for this SEF. Kasi malaki yung pondong binibigay natin baga sa palaro. from the SEF fund, pati yung sa ano pa yung isang palaro, Batang Pinoy. Ayan. So kung mawawala yan, so we can realign part of the budget. Pero advance kong sinasabi sa inyo na mas kailangan natin ngayon yung mga gadget that are connected to ICT, yung mga laptops, cellphone, and most importantly, Wi-Fi connections. Yung mga ibang detalye, ibibigay sa atin ni Ma'am Sheila Laguda. And then also, I would like to tell you that part ng pagbabago is we will be continuously strengthening and expanding partnership with our external stakeholders. So these are just preliminary and basic information that I am sharing to you for your information, and our detailed presentation about the plan of DepEd Naga City will be presented by the Chief of the Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Maria Sheila Laguda.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am Sheila.
Thank you very much. A pleasant morning to each and every one of you.
Good morning.
Today, we would like to, in behalf of the Department of Education, we will be presenting to you the Learning Continuity Plan of the Department of Education. We believe that this is our mission. It is towards responsive, more meaningful, accessible, and relevant learning, and that our initiative in DepEd Naga City will be quarantine, which means Technical Educational Assistance Management of Learning. For we strongly believe that it takes a village to educate a child. Ngayon po namin kailangan ang bayanihan po dito sa Naga City. We will be giving you the hard copy of our presentation. So to start with, we'll be looking into, and you might be asking, how will be the enrollment done in DepEd Naga City? So, for your information, we already had the early enrollment in January to February and was extended until March 6 of 2020. So for those who have already enrolled during the early enrollment, all they need to do is to submit the needed documentary requirements for this enrollment process. We will have also a continued enrollment starting June 1 to June 30 of this school year. And you might be wondering, how are we going to do that? First, there are people, there are citizens, we have constituents who would like to still enroll face-to-face. So we will urge them to observe physical distancing. But we also have an option, an open option for online enrollment to be used in as one way to enroll a child. In both situations, the enrollment forms will require the following profile of learners: the competence and the use of smartphones, IT gadgets and equipment, access to virtual communication, choice of learning modality, and learning conditions at home. At this point, Division Memorandum 94, issued by our Schools Division Superintendent, is already gathering data on this. so that they will know that we are having enrollment. We will appeal to the different mass media, both television and radio, that they announce the opening of our enrollment. We will also appeal to our barangay officials that this be announced to their constituents. We need to encourage learners to enroll to school nearest their home. So if there is an existing school in the barangay, they should enroll in that particular school. No fees will be required of them, and that hard copies of the birth certificate, the card, may be submitted during the face-to-face or physical enrollment, or if it is done online, it can be submitted anytime that a family member or the child himself or herself can bring it to school. So we are having the online mapping of learners at this point in time. In your handout, you will also be able to see the different steps on how we will do the online. So this is how we will do it. And then on the next slide, these are the schedule of enrollment for the different grade level. So the first one is the procedure online, and the rest here in this slide is the procedure for physical enrollment or face-to-face enrollment. Then we also have physical facilities. We'll look into this. In fact, there will be retrofitting and repair of physical structures within the school campus. We'll look into the ICT area, the library, classrooms that would suit the required physical distancing and alternative delivery modes of learning, or what we call the flexible learning options in the delivery of education to our students. We will also look into the repair, the building and reposition of the wash area. We will make sure that the wash area is situated near the entrance gate of the school. And with this, these are the things that we will be needing for this challenge. First, we will ensure the availability of the following: 100 Mbps internet connection. Then we have the smart Wi-Fi camera, headsets, microphones for virtual teaching, learning process, and communication. There's the need to provide laptop, printers, and other gadgets to identified supervisors and teachers. Then we will issue videos that will be shown online or through television on how to enter the school premises. So we are developing this at the moment. There should be thermal scanners, alcohol and other materials needed for health and sanitation, which will be available in schools. Medical personnel and the engineering team will also survey the school as to the wash area, and there will be a memorandum on the survey of ICT gadgets that are still functioning in the schools and that can be used for virtual classes, and assistance to learners and teachers on health and sanitation supplies such as masks and alcohol. I think this is where our LGU with the SEF can help us. Then, on the next slide, you will be able to see our concern on instructional, supplementary, and support materials. The primary reference of the teaching and learning process will be the most essential learning competencies, or the MELCs, that has been issued by the central office, downloaded to the regional and division offices. This will be used by schools. We have already at our end submitted the inventory of available learning materials that will be used in the field. As of now, we are developing self-directed, self-paced, and self-learning kits. We are also doing the enhancement of prototype lesson plans or lesson modules that are capable, that is suited to the capabilities of our learner. There will be also the development of test items, contextualization of audiovisual learning materials, and we will identify free online resources that may be used by our students if they chose online classes or virtual classes. So SDO Naga City will enhance and contextualize learning modules, self-learning kits per Department Memorandum in Curriculum of Instruction 2020, issued by USEC DAD San Antonio. Right now, we have already accomplished the inventory, and we are now in the task of preparing modules, which are self-learning kits, based on the contextualized MELC. This is expected to be carried out by our supervisors, by our specialists, and selected master teachers. We encourage teachers to volunteer on this task to enrich collection of instructional materials when this will be issued by the regional office come June 1 to June 5. There will also be mass production of various instructional materials for which we will appeal to the Sanggunian to approve the mass production of our instructional materials with the SAF. Okay? Issue memo on the available and free online resources. With regards to the learning delivery approaches, these are the plans of our schools division office. This will be suited to the local context and diversity of learners. Learners may choose any of the flexible learning options, which are considered as distance learning, virtual mode, radio access, television access, modular, or there will be blended learning options whereby there will be virtual or distance learning together with the face-to-face interaction with the teachers. You will be able to note that the Department of Education right now has gave the school heads the freedom to consult with the schools division office as to the FLO that they will use in the school. That is why, as of the moment, our SDS has already issued Division Memorandum 94 so that we will be able to get a picture and the data of how many students will choose these different kinds of modality. Okay? So we will also match them with the teacher's capacity and capabilities to do virtual instruction. So LGU and SEF is expected to support all the modalities of learning. Stakeholders will also be tapped to take initiatives and give assistance to the Department of Education. So makita po natin, education will not only come from our teachers and schools, but again, it will now be a community endeavor. So everybody, bayanihan po tayo, it takes a village to educate a child. So with this, we also looked into our capacity building and training because you see, biglaan po tayong nagkaroon ng new normal. And with this, it is expected that we also need to train our own supervisors. So we will start the training with supervisors, followed by the school heads, teachers, learners, and even our parents will be trained on this new normal. So with this, we have already made the survey of the availability of working gadgets, smartphones, and laptops that will be used for virtual instruction by the supervisors. And we found out that out of 21 supervisors, only 5 have functioning laptops. So 16 will be provided to our supervisors. As to the question whether they have smartphones, there's only 1 who doesn't have a smartphone. Okay? So, ibig sabihin na niyan, we will need to train this person in order that he has to cope up with the demand of our time, which is the new normal. Babanggitin ko pa ba? Wag na. Okay. So, nasa survey na po natin yan. So, let's look into the school heads. Ito naman po yung sa school heads. Again, we will do the capacity building on conducting online trainings and meetings 101. Kasi ngayon po, the new normal, when we conduct meetings, when we conduct trainings, we do it virtually. Okay? It can be through the Google platform, using the Zoom, and maybe other platforms such as messenger chats can also be used, no, for limited number of people. So with this, we also had the survey on the availability of working gadgets of our school principals. As of now, all of them have laptops, but some of them has no Wi-Fi connection. As to the use of smart cell phone, there is 1 principal who's not using a smart cell phone up to this time. Okay. Next, we also have teachers. For the teachers, we will also do a lot of capacity building and online trainings. First and foremost is, of course, the conducting of online class meetings 101 using the Google. Okay, that was mentioned already in the for supervisors and school heads. Then we will also have capacity building activities in managing flexible multimodal learning delivery options, capacity building on the preparation of weekly learning activity sheets. Then we also have the preparation of learners for the formal start of the classes and gathering data on specific context of their learners. So with this, survey is already available. As of now, we have 1,388 teachers. If you would want to know how many of them have gadgets and laptops, for kindergarten 3, there are 454 teachers, 246 of them have desktops and laptops. For grades 4 to 6, 250 teachers. Out of 250 teachers, we have 146 teachers who have desktop and laptops. For junior high school, 575 total number of teachers, 306 of them have laptops and desktops. For senior high school, 197 teachers. There are 122 teachers who have laptops and desktops. As to internet connectivity, okay, only half of these teachers have internet connectivity. So that is where we can look, we can come in, no, to help. Okay, with the smart cell phones and gadgets, out of 454, 363 has smartphones. Out of 251, there are 202 teachers who have smartphones. Out of 575, there are 387 who have smartphones. And out of 197, there are 133 smartphones available to them. Okay? So that is the picture of our teachers in DepEd Naga City. Okay. The next slide will show you that these are the online trainings available to them that they can virtually attend to. which is sponsored by DepEd EdTech Unit, and these are the online trainings available within this May. So this has already started yesterday and it will end on May 29. This will be the start-up of preparing themselves to the online teaching and learning process. Now let us look into our learners, because I know you are very interested on this. We will also do orientation or online video, radio, broadcast, and telecast. This will be how we will get through them at this time that they are not allowed to go out of their homes. So we will orient them on how they will adapt to the new normal learning delivery mentioned a while ago. So we have the capacity building also on the procedures of how flexible learning options or any learning options that they will choose, we need to orient them on how we will conduct it in the schools. There will also be workshop on the development of self-directed, self-paced supplementary materials that the Department of Education has already prepared. So, if we are going to look into our learners, we only have started the survey of our learners 7 days ago. So, out of 49,299 learners from kindergarten to grade 12, we already reached 10,030 of them. Out of this figure, 5,245 has the capability to do online learning. So at this point, the end of the survey will be on May 29. So we are not yet done reaching all our learners. So because, you know, not all of them have phone. So, magfe-face-to-face pa po kami ng teachers. Once teachers are back to school by June 1 of 2020, and maybe coordinating with the barangay officials, we can reach our learners and do the survey this May. So again, dito po kami mag-a-appeal sa inyo na tulungan niyo po kami to reach our learners and get the full survey as to the modality of learning that they will prefer this coming school year. Hindi po dyan nagtatapos ang capacity building namin. We will also do the capacity building for parents. Because you see, if they choose the virtual learning instruction, the online learning, definitely parents will be involved. Or anyone who is with the child or the learner in the home. So we will also do online orientation, video, radio, broadcast, and telecast. So again, we will explain to them how the new normal is. This time, kung kami po ang sila po ang unang teachers ng mga anak nila, ngayon po, kapartner na po talaga namin sila sa pagturo sa mga bata in the online or virtual or distance instruction. So with this, may kita po natin sa ating slide, they will be giving 100% guidance to their children. Hindi na po kagaya dati na sa amin po nakasalalay yung mga yon. So capacity building on the procedures of the FLOs will also be explained to them in these different modes. Special trainings will also be given to SPED parents, to kindergarten parents, and grade 1 parents. Kasi po, alam po natin na sila po yung nag-i-start pa lang, no? Sa pag-attend ng classes. Parenting tips for the new normal classroom is also given through online by DepEd Tech Unit Ia-announce po namin to sa radio, sa television, para po malaman ng magulang natin that they can do the online and virtual training na ibibigay po ng National Office, the DepEd Tech Unit. Okay. Pero may local din po tayong orientation. Okay. So, mas lalo po natin makikita dito ang strengthened partnership of the LGU Queen and our General PTA. The attendance of parents and guardians in the orientation, and at the same time, ito po kung may face-to-face, ipapakiusap po namin that it will be at the same time when LGU will give the support to our parents, to our learners in the form of mask and alcohol in the preparation of the opening of classes. So, may kita po natin, pwede po nating ibigay yon during the orientation of the parents, during the face-to-face interaction with them. So, papakiusap po namin yan sa inyo. And this will be conducted, of course, at the school level, and teachers will assist in the orientation. Ngayon naman po, pumunta naman tayo, tapos na tayo sa capacity building. Tingnan naman po natin. Let's look into partnership and linkages. With this should be done year-round. We'll build strong partnership with radio and television stations. Kailangan na po talaga natin sila. Lay out plans on how barangay officers, not limited to those in charge in education, and barangay literacy workers, they need to actively monitor self-directed learning opportunities of our learners in the barangay. There will be the realignment of plans and budget of the SEF towards the new normal that will focus on the provisions of the different needs and challenges in the delivery of various learning modalities mentioned a while ago. And we will be encouraging stakeholders to help in the education of learners. Kaya babalik po tayo, it takes a village to educate a child. And with this, we need to sign the memorandum of agreement with radio and television station to air our lessons that learners will take within the school year. If in case they choose the television access or the radio access modality of learning, city and the barangay may pass a resolution of support containing the terms and references on this matter. We will also conduct thorough planning sessions with in the realignment of budget. We are referring to the SEF to answer the demands of our FLOs. We will also sell at this point in time, kasi kailangan po talaga namin ng tulong, the Adapt a School program of the Department of Education, where stakeholders who will help us will get an incentive of 150% discount tax incentive if they will help our schools. So, halimbawa po, tumulong po sila ng 100,000 pesos. Ang tax incentive po niyan is 100,000 pesos plus 50% of that. Okay? So, malaki po yan na tulong sa ating mga negosyante if they opt to help us in the Department of Education through the Adapt a School program. Then, let us also look into the support services. For support services, this is our strategies. Accessibility of teachers, learners, and parents to DepEd Commons, which was mentioned already a while ago by our schools division superintendent, and this is referring to DepEd Memorandum number 7, dated April 2020, DepEd Commons access and support for public and private schools. Adaptation of the new normal, learning delivery of lessons, as mentioned, is already in the DepEd Commons. They are available here. greater role of the LRMDS services in producing quality assured materials and sharing of these materials to teachers. With this, we are also inviting writers in the community, teachers who have these skills and capability to write materials, learning materials, can be submitted to the Department of Education, and it will go through a thorough quality assurance by the Division Quality Assurance Team. And if we noted that this can be used all over the region, we will also pass it to the Regional Quality Assurance Team. And if it can be used all over the Philippines, then we will also pass it to the National Quality Assurance Team. So anyone can give us and submit materials for that. For these materials will also be quality assured. Okay. Once quality assured, it will be published in our LR portal or Learning Resource portal in the Department of Education here in Naga, and it can be downloaded by the teachers for their use in the TLP. ICT assistance of ITO services to schools and selected teachers will also be one of our strategy. We will at the moment, and we are doing it already at the moment, simplifying access to all these materials is being done already. That is why DepEd Commons is free to subscribers of Smart, Globe, and PLDT. Hindi pa po siya available sa ibang networks. Open invitation to writers, as I have mentioned, and then the ALS, SPED, Araling Panlipunan, and Filipino supervisor will be submitting the proposals for local initiatives that will be used by our teachers and learners. There will also be capacity building of our ITs or IT coordinator at the school level. But all of these things we can only do if there is an improved internet connectivity and ICT gadgets available in our community. So at this point, we are imagining our community, our whole Naga City, to have internet connection where students need to download materials or upload works. Siguro po pwede po nating tingnan po ang mga bagay na yan kasi po yun na po ang demand ng new normal. Thank you very much and a pleasant morning to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Ma'am Sheila Laguda. Any comments from the members? Okay, Honorable Salvador del Castillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the schools, Naga City Schools Division for this very impressive presentation. But I have some concerns on how this can be implemented in Naga. And not only in Naga, but in the entire country. We know that on May 5, one of the largest network in the Philippines was shut down by the administration. So, only one major network in the Philippines remains. That's GME7. And complemented by TV5. So, there's only two network in the country. Coupled with the very slow internet connection in the country, how could we implement fully this virtual learning to our students? So that's my apprehension on the implementation of this plan. Igwa na lang kitang tulutulong major networks, pinasara pa si Saro. So, how
Okay.
could we implement this effectively and efficiently? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
May I say something
Okay, Ma'am Sheila.
on that? even before the lockdown and even before the new normal has happened in the Department of Education, our department has already started, in fact, initiatives on this aspect. In fact, all schools in Naga City, they have already provided computers, desktop, they have gadgets, printers. Then they also have laptops provided to schools. So they have already started. And we are assured, according to USEC Sevilla, during the interview with her, she stated that as of this moment, they have ongoing transactions on this area, ongoing transactions with the networks, ongoing transactions with radio. But of course, locally, we have also radio stations available to us. Okay. And then locally, we also have a television station available to us. So, as of now, they are doing something on this matter, as well as the internet connectivity. Sir Manny?
Thank you, Ma'am Sheila. Sir Manny?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Yes, oo. In support to what has been explained by Ma'am Sheila about the matter raised by Honorable Del Castillo, of course, we are aware about the limited number of televisions in our locality. And we have that idea, number one, that at the initial stage of the implementation of this new normal in the Department of Education, we may avail of the services of televisions primarily on information dissemination and on some orientation matter to the field. We have that idea that we may not be able to immediately come up with a TV eskwela or television eskwela for that matter. And another thing is that considering the new normal, we also entertain that idea that considering that there are this is now the new normal, we believe that more businesses like this will be opened. Kasi kumbaga iyan ang mga yayaman aasensong negosyo ngayon, yung mga gumagamit ng mga online, mga television, pati yung mga network, pati yung mga gadget na ginagamit. So yun lahat ang mag-aasensong negosyo. And therefore, we expect that number one, babalik ang ABS-CBN. And also, we expect that more television channels and stations will be allowed to operate in the whole country. Thank you.
Dr. Manny. And Honorable Marisa Quidaroyo.
Chair. Yes, thank you for that presentation from our City Division, DepEd Division. We all know that everyone, all of us, really are grappling on how to still deliver quality education and achieve our education objectives for our children despite the COVID challenge. Just to clarify, Madam Chair, so we take it to mean, the presentation to mean that come school opening first, school opening would still be June. Is that correct?
August 24.
As pronounced by our secretary, the opening of class will be August 24.
And it will be on August 24.
It will end on April 30, 2021.
So the school year will be August 24 to April 30, 2021.
Opo.
So that's the first information. Second, that there will be no classroom teaching that will happen in that school year.
No, ma'am. not exactly like that. The situation will be like this. There will be classes that will be online, virtual.
That's why, my
There will be-
question.
There will be classes
That
that
in
will
the
be under
classrooms.
modular. Then classes, there will still be classes that is face-to-face. So, pagdating doon sa tanong mo po, mayroon pa rin sa classroom.
So therefore, the mode or strategy would be blended.
Yes po.
So it's blended.
Yes po.
Dito po kasi sa presentation ninyo, maraming options.
Opo.
So we have to see what's really the option that DepEd has
Actually
decided.
po, opo, ganito kasi madam yung ideya dyan. Halimbawa, ang default ng eskwela at saka yung teacher is virtual. So it does not necessarily mean that everything will be virtual.
Yes, we know that.
Halimbawa, pwedeng nag-virtual silang 4 days, mayroon pa rin silang 1 day na face-to-face.
Yes, that's why. So, kailangan klaro po yung pag-deliver nyo ng
Opo.
message. So, the method or modality will be blended learning.
Opo.
So, it is not just distance but also face-to-face. That's why it's blended.
Opo.
And it's also wrong to say na modular ang isang mode because all of these can be modular.
Opo,
Even
opo.
your face-to-face,
Kasi,
even
opo,
your
as of now
distance
kasi,
could be
ma'am,
modular.
As of now, we are already conducting this modular method for our ALS. Kaya, kumbaga, modular as a method. Pero, kahit nga modular, nagre-report pa rin sila. Kaya, blended pa rin.
Exactly.
Oh, yes
So,
po.
baka dapat klaruin po ninyo yung mga terms also that you're using so that your message will be clear. Modular is actually your approach of delivering it.
Okay
Di
po.
po ba? So, whether it's blended or distance, it can be modular.
Oh,
Di
but
po ba?
Opo,
So, ang sinasabi po natin, so blended, distance, and face-to-face.
Oo.
Doon po sa distance, ang options, modes would be internet, radio, and television. Yun po yung mga modes natin. So, dun sa internet, sabi ninyo kung sino yung mas may access, yun ang parang ang option would be chosen by the learner or sino pong pipili dun sa option?
Magkakaroon po ng matching. Magpipili pa rin yung eskwela.
Okay, so
Actually,
yung school.
part of the
By,
questions
din ang teacher.
that we included in our ongoing mapping of our learners is the question as to what modality they prepare to join.
Okay. Yes. So, yung pong may mga good access to internet and they have the gadgets and they can choose internet. Purely, can they choose to purely access through the internet? Or kailangan pa rin po mag face-to-face? Or
Basta pag nag-virtual, ang idea is, although ang default mo virtual, there will still be days that there will be face-to-face.
Okay.
Ang main concern po kasi natin ngayon, kasi yung dating default ng classroom, mga 50 or more na eskwela sa loob. Ngayon, dahil kailangan nating mag-observe ng social distancing, yun ang kailangan natin mabigyan ng solusyon.
So
na
maybe,
we have
possibly, nakikita po natin, possibly those who will do classroom will be those who have no access to internet. Di po ba?
Yes po.
Okay. Okay, so that's settled. At least sa akin po, to my mind, is clear na that the mode would be blended learning. But for those na hindi rin pwedeng mag-blended kasi kung walang internet, pwede silang purely face-to-face. So, pwede rin pong purely or exclusively
Kasi
face-to-face.
gusto nating ma-decongest yung classroom. Kahit na yung naka-face-to-face, pwedeng ang face-to-face nila 4 days a week na lang.
Limited.
Tapos yung 1 day is module to
On
do
their own.
at home.
To be done on their
pag
own.
yung decongestion, yung absence nila doon, ma-maximize naman ang presence ng mga kailangan
Okay.
mag-face-to-face sa
Okay.
school.
So, whatever the strategy would be or the modality, ang nakikita ko po, ang parent involvement is really very important.
Opo,
Diba?
opo.
It's really indispensable, kahit na anong modality ang piliin. Now, ang question ko po, paano dun sa mga parents na hindi marunong magbasa? Because there are those parents.
Actually, that is also
They can
our concern. Kasi bago pa man tayo nandito sa new normal, mayroon na tayong mga
Yes.
ganong parents.
Yes.
Kaya yun ang sinasabi ko, baka yung mga estudyante na ang parent ay hindi marunong magbasa, baka purely mag face-to-face sila. In fact, ang tinitingnan po namin, ma'am, itong mga nasa kindergarten up to grade 3, baka hindi pa sila marunong magbasa, baka sila doon sa kanila mas nakafocus yung face-to-face.
Yes.
Kaya lang, kung dati, ang grupo ng eskwela na isang section, baka dalawa na ngayon.
Okay.
Yun po ang pwede mangyari.
Yes. Ang isang, I believe, should really be looked into po would be the content. What can be delivered in a classroom setting, hindi mo po yan pwedeng as effectively
Tama
be
po.
delivered to
Tama
the
po.
internet, radio, television. Napaka-limited
Oo.
ng access niyan.
Kaya po ngayon, ma'am, as of now, there is already an ongoing workshops being conducted by the supervisors from central, regional, and division offices. Itong mga supervisors po natin, kasali na ngayon sa mga ongoing na ginagawa na pag-produce ng mga material to suit to the situations. Kaya ang pinoproduce na nila ngayong mga materials, kagaya ng mga tinatawag na self-directed supplementary reading materials. So, papaano, kasi yung default na dati na may materials pero may teachers. So, yung mga iba ngayon na bagong materials na ginagawa, yung papaano ba ang materials na gagawin mo na limited na yung intervention ng teacher.
Yes. So we really would like to see those materials. Kasi dapat po, kung ang parents ini-expect talaga nating tumulong, they should be the ones first to be trained on those materials. No? So
Yes
hindi
po.
lang po basta orientation ang ibibigay sa parents. They really have to be trained. So sana po may in the same manner that you're also giving a lot of importance and emphasis on the training of supervisors and teachers, I think the same emphasis should be given to parents.
Yes po.
Otherwise magfi-fail po ito. And that's what we really want to see. Ano po yung modules for training the teachers? Kasi kung kailangan po nyo ng support sa LGU, we don't want to support you not just on the logistics. We want also to see the content. No? Kasi lahat po tayo, sabi po nga natin is, we are educating the next generation. Pero yung present generation, hindi pa rin po siya educated. Di po ba? So, kailangan tulong-tulong po talaga. And I hope DepEd, I hate to say this, pero yung DepEd po kasi parang meron siyang reputation na parang kami ang may alam niyan. Di po ba? If you really want community involvement, dapat wala yung ganong perspective. No? Let us into this. Hindi po yung kami ang expert dito, kami ang marunong. Share it. Di po ba? Kasi hindi lang po, halimbawa pagtayo ng bahay, hindi lang yung parang pagpukpok ng martilyong ituturo ninyo. Kailangan ituro po natin sa lahat na mai-involve yung buong konsepto ng bahay. Di po ba? So I hope yung perspective po na ganon that DepEd has been known for, na parang kami ang may alam, kami ang na-train dito, kami ang may alam sa curriculum. I hope you can really involve the community in the curriculum. Kasi ang feeling ko po, karamihan sa mga tinuturo, like ang isang example nga pong hindi ko talaga makalimutan is, I hope it's not there anymore, yung libro po na ang nakalagay sa isang bayaning Pilipino is a billiard king na huwarang Pilipino. How can that be huwaran? Billiard lang ho yun. How can that be huwaran? So, sana yung pong pag-review ng curriculum, ang content ng tinuturo natin, i-share natin sa community, post it so that people can really comment. Di po ba? So, hindi lang po, I'm really very passionate about this kasi parang we're really not educating our children what they should learn in life. Parang ganun po ang general na pakiramdam ko. So, this is the responsibility of everyone, not just of DepEd, not just of government, but of parents also. So, kailangan po talaga tulong-tulong tayo. And I believe the city government has been, no, sa simula pa po ni Mayor Jess Robredo, in fact, that's one of the things that I really like about him, is yung support niya po sa education. No? Yan pong isang natatandaan ko talaga, quality education and access by everyone. Access to quality education. I'm also very happy to say na I'm proud of Naga City DepEd. Kasi nakikita ko rin po yung dedication talaga ng Naga City DepEd and the openness for real sharing sa pag-achieve ng objective that we have all agreed to achieve for our children. So, Ako po personally, as Sangguniang member, I'm expressing my support as I believe everyone else. Alam ko pong hindi ito madali. We're starting a very difficult one and we're treading on it for the first time. So sana po tulong-tulong talaga, and our ideas, let's open our minds to all possibilities and be ready to commit kung ano po talaga yung pwede nating mai-commit para sa ating mga bata. Kasi naiisip ko talaga paano na mag-educate yung mga maliliit na mga batang nakatira sa mga informal settlers community na wala silang, kahit nga television po, wala sila, nakikipanood sila sa kapitbahay na medyo maganda-ganda ang bahay nila, marami doon, nandun sila nanonood. So how do we really do it? It's a big challenge, and sa tingin ko po, let's answer our questions one by one. Wala tayong isang sagot dito. But the challenge really is to really dedicate ourselves na ma-deliver pa rin yung education that we want our children to have. So thank you very much po. I know very dedicated po ang DepEd Naga City Division. Ang City Government, alam naman po ninyo na ang support po ay nandyan lagi, di po ba? Kung meron po kayong comment na hindi nagsusupport ang city, we really want to hear it para kung ano pa po ang pwede naming magawa po namin. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Master Arroyo, and thank you.
Before that, may I inform Madam Miles that we have noted your concerns, specifically about the parents. I have assigned a supervisor to take note of our concerns. Although I believe that with the span of time between today and August 24, we can address all those other details that we may need to improve as far as our planning for this new normal is concerned. Thank you very much, Miles.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Manny. Honorable Perez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for the presentation, Mr. Superintendent, and the lady just a minute ago. I know it will not be easy for the coming school year that we shall be facing, no? Given the crisis that is right on our face, and the reality that, we have been using this favorite word, new normal, which we would like to sound as if a magic word that can solve some of our problems. But really, this will be difficult times, especially for the education sector. I feel lucky that I have no more child going back to school, and ang kinakatakot ko is that I think the opening of classes would be scary. Scary because of the crisis, because of the viral crisis that is upon us. I would like to know if the Department of Education have discussed matters, war scenarios about having in the middle of the classes, one is found to be infected, whether the student or the teacher. Igwa ka mo kaya ning igwa ka mo kaya ning what you call this approaches, emergency approaches when things like those happen. And will most likely happen if by the time data pa nasosolve ang COVID-19 crisis. Ano ang gigibuhon? Because pag may sarong infected, I'm sure, I'm looking at that problem na mapuputol na naman ang klase, or there would be some teachers fearing to go back to the classroom. Ano ang have you discussed about it? What to go about it? And have you made arrangements with the proper agencies when those eventualities happen? Yan po, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. Actually, before the declaration of this ECQ in the Inter-Luzon on March 16, even before that, there were already several guidelines issued by the Department of Education as to the required protocols that we need to do in different scenarios related to the COVID-19. Mayroon na po kaming mga step-by-step procedure na gagawin dapat. Kaya, in fact, before that declaration of ECQ, hadit akong maray. Kasi pag may na-infect ni eskwela, siyempre yaon sa kuya so problema, so principal. Kaya akan i-declare ang ECQ kang March 16, medyo nakahangos ako. At least sabi ko, kung in kaso man may ma-infect, bako na nasa direct responsibility ko. So the point is, before the ECQ, we already have an existing specific protocols that we need to follow in cases when a particular learner will be, or a teacher will be infected with this COVID-19. And I believe, sir, looking forward, I believe that there will still be specific guidelines that will be issued under this new condition na o kung ano na yung mangyari. And also, on my part, I believe na the August 24 na tinitingnan natin na opening of classes is based on the projection that the continuous spread of coronavirus will be under the control already of our government entities. Pag sinabi kong under control, hindi naman mawawala, pero manageable na. And ito, kasi nandyan pa rin, yun na nga yung new normal. Kahit mayroong face-to-face, nandyan pa rin yung paggamit ng face mask, nandyan yung social distancing, nandyan yung paggamit ng alcohol, and then yung pag-disinfect ng school, yung wash area, pati yung paggamit ng scanner, magiging part na ng standard procedure sa mga schools. So, kaya yan po ang inaano ko na on the condition na manageable na ng government ang tungkol dito sa coronavirus. If ever, wala pang bakuna, wala pang vaccine for this coronavirus. Pero siyempre, on the assumption na mas maglala yung sitwasyon, halimbawa, yung sinasabing second wave, halimbawa pa mangyari, sana daiman, tapos here comes August 24, I believe na there will be again another change of the plan. Sasakuya lang po.
Okay, thank you po, Dr. Manny. Honorable Valdemoro, you raising your hand?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, pasalamatan to lang po si Dr. Di Guzman and also Ma'am Sheila for the presentation. And kung anong kumang po ning opportunity to thank the DepEd. DepEd Naga is a great factor why Naga was awarded as the most child-friendly city in the Philippines. Kaya mabalos pong maray sa DepEd. Especially to the representative to the Naga City Council for the Welfare of Protection of Children, Dr. Gabino. Nagluwas lang po kaya. Anyway, Madam Chair, ihapot ko lang po, what is the continuity learning plan for the children with disabilities, lalo na po itong we are now practicing inclusive education. Ano po itong kind of learning na itatao sa INDA, virtual, modular, or face-to-face? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Albert Baltimore.
Doc Ed Laureles will answer the question.
Okay, Dr. Laureles, you are recognized.
Maray na aga po sa Agos. The question, yung LCP, yung plan for children with special needs. Actually, I have submitted already a project proposal last May 11 on the new normal in SPED program. Actually, in special education, ang delivery mo po dyan, igwaning as required by the handbook, any child who qualifies in the SPED program should have an individualized education plan. And ang individualized education plan po, set po and identify ang mga goals, objectives, and strategies that will be delivered to the individual child on a given period of time. And the IEP is being crafted. Ginigibi po yan kang IEP team composed of the class advisor, the previous advisor, and then the parent, the principal or the guidance counselor or professional that concerned duman sa AKI. And then they prepare that. And in the IEP, every competencies na na-attain, ang usual practice mi po, papirma ang magurang na ini na-accomplish na. So, now, how will be, paano yung gigibuhon niya na new normal na? In consultation with the parents and consultation with SPED teachers and school head, it's not doable ang virtual kasi face to face nga ni masakito na. So we propose that it's the parent who will be in the virtual tapos hindi ma-relay sa AKI ninda, which usually man talaga ngunyan perming concern ang parents and sinda nagahatod sundo sa mga AKI. So, and matter of fact, sinda one of those who crafted the IEP so parent, it's just very easy for them. And a class in the special education is 3 to 8. Kaya madaliun man po yan. In the event na daikaya na mag-virtual so parents, what they will do is makikipag-appointment so parents sa teacher, sa class advisor, once a week, maduman, and then they will discuss the IEP. Tapos i-relay kan parents duman sa AKI. And another option is the teacher could have some home visitation. Anyway, piramal lang yan, sarong klase. So that is the proposal I made. This is still subject to the approval of the Schools Division Superintendent. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Laureles. Any other questions? So we can also take a break. Okay, thank you to the DepEd Division Superintendent and other DepEd person, mga big boss sa DepEd kang Naga. Honorable Greg Abunal.
General picture lang po. We understand na nag-pre-enrollment or pre-registration, whatever you may call it, tayo noong February yata or earlier, January to February. My assumption was na lahat ng enrolled at that time nag-pre-register, and therefore except for the new students, we have an idea ng future population ng studentry sa Naga City. Ang assumption po natin na yung mga dating estudyante babalik. Okay, so minus the grade 6 yata, minus yung mga nag-completion na, may panibago pa naman. Now, given that do we already have a projected number of students sa grade school, sa junior high, saka sa senior high? Given that, do we have the matching number of teachers for the projected enrollment? Given that, what happens to the need for new teachers, additional teachers? Kung nag-orientation teachers ngayon, have we been joined by the new teachers already? Are they in training also? Identified na po ba yung new teachers, incoming new teachers?
Sir, as I have mentioned and as presented by Ma'am Sheila, we have the figure of teachers with this equipment and gadgets, but as to the matching, we are not yet done with that, considering that as of now, we are still on the stage of profiling inventory of our learners, which will end by the end of May. So hindi pa kami tapos, so wala pa kaming matching. Kaya nga, doon sa period of enrollment, although mayroon na tayong pre-registration or pre-enrollment, by June and part of July, doon natin gagamitin yung matching, tsaka yung class organization doon na rin, and doon din natin makikita kung ano yung, baka may effect ito sa need for teachers. Although as of now, we were already given an advance information from the Department of Education that there will be new items consisting of 10,000, pero all over the country na yan, that is to be distributed to all the different divisions in the Philippines.
Yeah, ang punto ko lang po, if we still do not name the incoming new teachers, that means na ang training nila or preparation will have to come later.
Yung teachers, yung new teacher, sir, new teacher.
Yeah, the incoming new teacher.
Makakasama na siya, sir. O pwedeng doon siya sa later part na. But of course, in hiring these teachers, we will consider the present need. So, kung kailangan natin ang ganitong teacher, so ito yung priority natin kukunin. Depende sa subject area, specialization, and sa readiness ng teachers.
Correct. But what we're saying is na if those new incoming teachers are identified later, that means that their preparation for these new modalities will be later as well. Okay, sir, mag-check lang po. How is the Santa Cruz High School and San Isidro High School going?
Actually, yung plano sa Santa Cruz High School and San Isidro, mayroon tayong sinasabi ng HR namin na unfilled fine items because of non-availability of the specialization need of the school. Kaya mayroon tayong ilalagay dyan na teacher, old teacher na ililipat lang or under new item, pero i-hire natin siya ngayon, sir. The earliest possible time.
Yeah, ang sa
kasi as of now, we have an ongoing evaluation of teachers. Kaya lang, for this first 2 weeks, from May 1, or from the start of the GCQ, hindi daw muna nagpatuloy yung iba kasi subject to interview pa or demo teaching, because we prioritize we prioritize, or people who are members of the selection committee or evaluation committee have other priorities, lalo na nga itong tungkol sa training ng supervisors, yung pag-prepare nila nitong mga bagong modalities, medyo na busy sila doon. Kaya, based on our plan, sa Monday, magre-resume yung kaunti na lang yun, sir, yung natitirang hindi pa na-interview at hindi pa nakapag-demo.
Yeah. Ang sa akin lang po, sir, tuloy po tayo Santa Cruz High School.
Tuloy po tayo Santa Cruz High School saka sa San Isidro.
Okay, by August 24.
Opo.
Okay. Maybe one last item. Yung pong data na ipinakita dito, something like 49,000 students dito sa record ng on item number 5. Is it?
Tama, 49,000. Ma'am Sheila.
Ano po yun? From grade school through senior high school?
Public school lang yun.
Okay. What you're saying here is na so far ang na-check na monitor na would be 10% would be able to go through online. That means na talagang
parang yun na rin.
Yeah, okay. Let's assume na 25% ang pwedeng mag-online. That's only 1/4 of the total student body ng public high schools or ng public schools. 25% hopefully will not corner the budget for the entire, kasi expensive ang online expensive ang mag-online. You'll have to supply laptops or computer units, etc. sa teachers. Let's just be conscious na minority sila, hindi sila ang majority. The modality may still have to be yung old face-to-face, whether it be by written materials or whatever, but there will have to be that. Sir, ako na-imagine ko lang po, I'm trying to imagine, kung ako po yung teacher and this is the class, pwedeng may 5 na mag-online, pwede na may 10 na magmo-modular, pwedeng may 5 na naman na talagang dapat face-to-face. If this is the class, I can meet this class on a Monday and give the rest of the instruction doon sa mga online. But most of these will have to be given by instruction.
Pwede siguro yan, sir, sa parang integrated modalities sa mga small schools.
No, kasi hindi po naman yata pwede na teacher ako, i-enroll nyo sa akin lahat na mga online lang. Okay? Hindi naman yata pwede na ako yung teacher, lahat ng estudyante ko online lang. There will have to be people with face-to-face instruction. Unless, of course, you consider na yung mag-online, pwedeng taga Santa Cruz, taga Naga Central, pwedeng isang klase sila, isang teacher-student relationship from various schools, kung online yan. Kasi hindi naman kailangan na talagang bisection sila. Okay, maybe one last item, sir. Doon po sa recommendation po namin, we're asking the school board together with non-DepEd people to plan for especially the transition to the opening of the school year. May we know whether there is already a plan for the school board to meet. Mayroon na po bang preparation for the school board meeting?
Come again, sir?
Do we know whether there is already initiative for the school board to meet in this regard?
That will be part of the plan, sir.
Yeah, kasi
We will request for a school board meeting.
yeah, the way I see it, as far as DepEd is concerned, parang way ahead na po. Pero yung non-DepEd, like Educare, yung I would suspect ALS is also covered by this. But yung Educare na kailangan din matulungan, they may have to learn from this plan. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Honorable
Thank you po.
Lagunan.
Noted po yung concern ni sir.
Okay, last remark from Honorable Del Rosario, then we'll take a break.
Good morning, Madam Chair. 10 minutes lang po ako, 10 minutes. Salamat po, sir, SDS. Agawin ko po muna pag Miranda Lindo. No. Aram ko man pong preparado talaga igdigabos, and salamat po sa pagsibot nindo kaning presentation today. Aram ko man pong baka aware na po kamo kaning Ma'am Tin, please flash yung yung DepEd National po issue ning Memo Circular 51. This was released May 7, just the other day. And this details some interventions on how to proceed with lalo na yung ibang mga day nakakahabol. Before I comment on the presentation made earlier by my kababayan, Dr. Lagoda. Ma'am Tin, please show yung slide item number 4. Okay. Aputong ko lang po sa team kang DepEd, if we already started yesterday yung conduct of remedial, enrichment, and advancement classes. Itong tatlong ito, Madam Chair, will for 6 weeks. So hopefully starting yesterday and up to the last week of June. So my question is whether they already started with this, the conduct of remedial, enrichment, and advancement classes doon sa mga categories na ma-mention dyan sa baba. Anybody from DepEd would like to answer?
This memorandum, we received this yesterday afternoon. But yesterday afternoon is May 11. And then, last night, I forwarded this memo to the field for their information and guidance as to the implementation of the summer class. And considering that this has arrived only yesterday, I am waiting for the reactions from the field as to how they will go about the implementation of the summer class, which is supposed to be to have started yesterday. I know naman na they can do sa adjustment if ever late na dumating yung memo, provided that the required number of days that they are supposed to conduct the summer class can be made.
Okay.
One thing that I observed in that memo is the fact that although summer classes will be allowed, but face-to-face summer class will not be allowed.
Yes, thank you.
Any mode of conducting this enrichment or enhancement or remediation can be done except the face-to-face.
Yes,
Yun ang
thank you.
sinasabi dyan.
Thank
Kaya,
you.
ang point ko dyan is, una, kasi even before that, mga February pa lang, there are about 2 schools that have submitted already their plan for summer class na inapprove ko na. So ngayon, dahil nagkaroon ng ECQ, GCQ, kaya hindi yun natuloy. So ngayon, they may be compelled to continue as long as they have to avoid the face-to-face. Kasi yung application nila noon was on the assumption na face-to-face yung kanilang summer class.
Thank
Kaya
you.
ngayon, considering last night na inisyu ko yan sa field, I am waiting within the day for the remarks of the field as to how they will go about that.
Thank you, sir. How we wish na yung mga schools dito mag-participate sa Naga because the second sentence of paragraph 5, schools divisions officers are advised to accept applications after to 3 days before the start of the summer classes. So ma-request yung mga principal sa inyo kung magkakandak sila ng mga remedial or advancement classes. Why is this important, Madam Chair? Ma'am Tin, please proceed to paragraph 6. Next. Because yung remediation classes yun po na itong mga aki na dahil nakaabot sa grade na 75. So, matarabang po ang DepEd, mga magurang. So, kung marka mo lower than 75, you are encouraged to attend remediation classes. Then, next slide. Ito naman pong sa enrichment classes, si Sep pwede mag-avail kang enrichment classes. Ito pong may hard time focusing on their lessons in the previous school year, needed more time to understand concepts, and receive low grades. So, we will highly encourage them to attend enrichment classes. So, this is very important, and I assume na nagsisibot ang DepEd to comply with the memo of the National Department. Natatandaan ko, Madam Chair, kang yaong kita duman sa groundbreaking kan Santa Cruz Elementary School. For the moment, siguro masakit din sabihin, pero kay punta sabihin para makaprepare kita ka, boss. May pig-explain si Superintendent Di Guzman na after a while, nagluwas itong Philippine Daily Inquirer report about slow learners, non-readers, etc. etc. This is important because in the context kaning nangyari ko niyan, dahil talaga kita preparado. So most probably, dakol ang pwede mga aki na dahil makakasabay. Habuo ko ta ng haputon ang figures, kang exact figures, pero kung may ready si Sir Manny kang figures, kang si na found out din ng pig survey ninda, baka pwedeng isabi sa to ni Sir Manny. Si mga slow learners, non-readers, because important po yan digdi, kasabay ka ng pigdi-discuss tang enrichment and remediation classes.
Bako itong so itong data about itong non-readers. Oo.
Anyway, Madam Chair, kung they available, I'll proceed with the next, yung pang-tulo. Ma'am Tin, please proceed. Yung sa advancement classes, yun po na piga-advocate Kaya lang duman sa latest na memo kang DepEd Central Office, ang advancement classes duman lang sa senior high school. Sinasabi dyan, school may offer advancement classes to senior high schools, learners, one who would like to pursue their work immersion prior to start of school year 2020-2021, or those who would like to take advanced subjects prior to school year 2020-2021, so that more attention or focus shall be given to their work immersion in the succeeding semesters. So, makayuno po itong pig-present sa bago. Sa first part, si preparation for the start sa August. Ano yung infrastructure na kayo po i-ready, mga facilities, teachers and training of teachers, including acquisition of equipment and other facilities. Pag-ready sa community ang worry ko lang, Sir Manny, and aram kong kabusman kita igdiyo, itong gigibuon kang aki before August. So we are dealing with May, June, July. These 3 months. Ano ang pwedeng intervention na very clearly na pwede tang ikatao sa mga aki? Or, kung aram ko pong pagkisibutan nindo itong sa August na to, kung ikaw pa kitang available na pwede tang pwede tang mai-suggest tangarig po makatabang ang lokal na gobyerno. Tin, please proceed. So, another tin. Sarap pa. So, next. Yan pong, aram to pong sa private sector, kada ko na naghahalat kang announcement. So, nasabi ni Sir Manny Subago, ng private schools can proceed earlier than August. So, pwedeng June, pwedeng July, etc. etc. Pero, siyempre po kaya, may mga, kanakli po kanya sa private sector, may kwarta, may resources. So, ang focus na nyan, itong nasa public sector. So, ano ang pwedeng gibuhon during this time, yung period before the opening of classes. So, salamat na maray, Sir Manny, sa team kang DepEd, sa preparation. Rest assured po na kami sa local government, under Mayor Nelson Ligacion, Vice Mayor De Asis, willing po kami to support. As a matter of fact, Madam Chair, ang next na call ko is i-strengthen ang satuyang ICT department sa City Hall. Information Communication Department sa City Hall to help the DepEd sa pag-organize. Kasi aram tang undermanned man ang tao ninda sa ICT sa DepEd Naga City. Salamat and Miranda.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. Thank you, Sir Manny. And we take a break. Snack na po kamo. Ay.